Hi, happy Eiffel Tower Day on this last day of March 2025. I'm going to read, excuse me, from my book, From Your Mouth to God's Ear. This is the introduction preliminary. So tell me what you think. The simple truth was that Mrs. Treadwell III was an alcoholic because she could afford to be. She grew up in an era where in childhood it was openly acceptable as being cute for youngsters to sneak and sample from their parents' liquor glasses. It wasn't far-fetched for frazzled, concerned young mothers who were advised by the well-meaning elders. The elixir of the gods advertised as part of the dream of America and made blacks feel somewhat equal in status to whites. Friends and grandmotherly relatives attested that a swab of whiskey on the painful gums of toddlers was a cure-all. Really, marriage suited her perfectly. She was a natural organizer and bookkeeper, and at the beginning of their marriage had been the consummate helpmeet, setting up the office, hiring secretarial help, arranging for interior decorating. She didn't have to feel her way through. She was surprisingly a natural. The marriage was symbiotic and advantageous to both and served them well. Her husband would have, of course, desired that her vice was a bit more muffled, but as long as she carried it well and could control her drinking somewhat, he was free to go out into the world to make more money. Fortunately, expecting perfection was not his vice or virtue. Let's suppose that she was complicit as well. Besides, she never asked him for help. She had her childhood friends and socialite associates who were friends for now, friends for a season. She'd had her girlfriends with whom she talked to about important things. It would have never occurred to any of them that she would have been better off gainfully employed or otherwise engaging with the outside world. The luxurious prison of one's self-imposition is as confining as the jaded convict. Besides, she wasn't the only one. Why, who in the 1960s didn't drink or smoke? It was a woven part of the fabric that was the American dream. The studies on secondhand smoke and fetal alcohol syndrome were essentially non-existent, or an anomaly, if at all known. Meetings for Alcoholics Anonymous were a rare thing and something to be taken lightly. People in the 1960s never heard of designated drivers. Alcoholics were just social drinkers, enjoying themselves and having fun, and not something viewed as a mental disorder or a disease. Times change. Things were different. She couldn't count the times that people her age commented on the absurdity of seatbelts and bike helmets. That was another time and another place. The old school, where modes long ago formed, such as the husband as the breadwinner and his wife as the stay at home wife, remained intact. His wife was the one who kept his opportunities and appointments in check, who served as the social anchor and supplemental soft support, without which her teas and parties and attendance at the revolving meetings, brunches, and tete-a-tetes contributing and filling their coffers. It would never enter their minds that she may need help or an intervention about her imbibing. She saw herself as an attachment, and so addiction counseling was not her focus or a part of her consciousness. She was an extension of how he made his highly successful living. Her small talk with the head of this or that organization of influence and indexing of names and addresses and birthdays were astute enough to help him to remember how that ailing aunt with breast cancer was doing was priceless. It wasn't easy always being on. Her life was not her own, contrary to appearances. I've read From Your Mouth to God's Ear. Tell me what you think so far. Have a blessed Monday.